Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down exactly how to build a secure, an impenetrable fortress for your apps and data all in Google Cloud. All right, let's jump right in.
Okay, so I want you to think of your cloud environment less like a single house and more like a medieval fortress. Seriously. See, real security isn't just one giant wall. Nope, it's built in layers. You've got your gatekeepers, you've got high walls, a super secure vault, and of course, vigilant watchtowers. And today, we're handing you the blueprints to build that whole thing. So here's our battle plan for today. We're going to walk through 6 absolutely critical layers of defense. Everything from who gets the keys to the kingdom to how you automatically respond when those alarms start blaring. First up, the gatekeepers. Controlling who gets in and what they can actually do once they're inside, that is your first and I'd argue most critical line of defense. And this whole process, it's all governed by something called Identity and Access Management, or just IAM.
Now, the single most important rule for these gatekeepers, you got to remember this one, is the principle of least privilege. It's a really simple but incredibly powerful idea. You grant only the minimum permissions necessary for a user or even a service to do its job. No more, no less. So if a developer just needs to read data, for the love of all that is holy, don't give them permission to delete it, right?
And in practice, this really just means choosing the right role for the job. You see that owner role? That's like the master key to the entire kingdom. It's so powerful, you should hand it out, well, almost never. Very, very sparingly. For most of your day-to-day stuff, a role like editor or viewer is way safer and, honestly, it's all you're going to need.
But it's not just about people, right? You also have to manage your automated gatekeepers. We call them service accounts. Just think of these as the keys for your applications. The trick is to give each app its own unique key. Why? Because it isolates the risk. If one key gets compromised, it doesn't endanger the whole fortress. And, just like in the real world, you got to change the locks regularly by rotating those keys. Okay, so our gatekeepers are in place. Now it's time to build the walls and dig the moats. This next layer builds right on top of our identity controls, and it's all about managing the flow of traffic with some really smart network security. And look, a strong perimeter isn't just one big wall. It's a whole series of smart defenses. You create separate, walled-off zones for, say, production versus development. Your firewall rules? They should block everything by default and only open up for traffic you specifically allow. And for your most sensitive data, we're talking the crown jewels here, you can use something called VPC service controls to build an extra internal perimeter. It's literally a vault within the fortress, making sure that data can't ever leave that super trusted zone.
All right, inside those walls, that's where we keep the crown jewels, your data. And protecting it means building a seriously powerful treasure vault. In our digital world, that vault is built with layers and layers of encryption. Now, the cool thing is, Google Cloud encrypts all your data by default. That's a fantastic baseline to start with. But if you need ultimate control, maybe for compliance reasons, you can use what are called Customer Managed Encryption Keys, or CMAC. This basically means you hold the cryptographic keys to your own vault. You're in charge.
And don't worry, creating and managing your own keys isn't some super complex mystical process. It's actually a pretty straightforward 3-step thing you can do from the command line using the Cloud Key Management Service. You create a key ring, you create a key inside it, and then, and this is the crucial part, you tell Google to automatically rotate that key for you. That way, the lock on your vault is getting changed all the time, automatically.
Okay, let's take a step back. Our fortress is built. The walls are high, the treasure is secure. But here's the thing, you can't protect what you can't see. We need watchtowers. And in the cloud, that means getting serious about monitoring, logging, and threat detection.
Think about it. You've got millions of events happening every single hour across all your projects. So the real challenge is, how do you separate the signal from all that noise? How do you actually spot an intruder trying to pick a lock or scale a wall when there's so much normal activity going on?
Well, your first tool is Cloud Audit Logs. Just think of these as your security camera tapes. They record every single significant action, and they answer those fundamental questions for any investigation. Who did what, and when did they do it? Absolutely essential.
Next up, you have to track movement inside the walls. That's where VPC flow logs come in. These are like the digital footprints left behind by every network connection.
By looking at these logs, you can spot if, say, a server in one part of your fortress is suddenly trying to talk to a sensitive database it has absolutely no business accessing. That's a huge red flag.
And finally, there's Security Command Center. This is your central security hub, your situation room. It's like having a team of guards who are actively patrolling the walls 24/7, scanning for stuff like open ports, outdated software, or storage buckets that were accidentally left public. It's designed to find the vulnerabilities before an attacker does.
So knowing about a threat is one thing. That's great. But what do you do when an alarm goes off at 3 a.m. on a Sunday? Having a predefined, automated battle plan, that is what separates a minor incident from a major headline-making breach.
A good battle plan always follows a clear sequence. The second a threat is detected, an automated plan should kick in to contain it. So, for example, it could instantly isolate a compromised machine from the rest of the network. And only after the threat is contained do you move on to investigating and recovering.
But you know what's even better than a really good response plan? Yeah, preventing the incident from ever happening in the first place. This is where you hear terms like secure CI/CD. All that really means is building security directly into your development and deployment pipeline. It's all about being proactive instead of just reactive.
And this is where security gets really powerful. You can literally automate security right into your development pipeline. You can automatically scan every piece of code for vulnerabilities before it even gets close to production. It's just like inspecting every single stone for cracks before you place it in the fortress wall. It's a game changer. So look, if you take away nothing else from our little explainer today, let it be this blueprint. First, always enforce least privilege for your gatekeepers. Second, use multiple layers of encryption for your treasure. And third, have centralized logging so your watchtowers can see everything. That's the core of it. And that's our explainer on building your Google Cloud Fortress. But I want to leave you with one final question. A fortress is only strong if you maintain it, right? Security isn't some one-time project you can just check off a list. So the real question is, how often are you going to test your walls?